Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer workshop. We're back in it. We're going to do some building. I want to thank everybody for coming out. The beginning of the stream, already got a few people here in the chat. Harold's in there, checking in with folks, seeing how they're doing. Hello, Harold. I do want to give a shout out to Matt Pasquale and Harold, who are both hosting the stream. Thank you very much. Matt started hosting before I started recording, so I want to get in there. I'm going to throw that Bear Cave emote in there. If you are a subscriber, you can throw that emote in there and let people know what's up, how you're doing. And if you're not a subscriber, well, that might be something you'd be interested in. If you are a Twitch Prime user, because you have Amazon Prime and you link Twitch Prime to it, you can use your coin on me, and it's like not spending any money, and then you don't see ads. That's the thing you can do. You don't have to do it. I want to thank everybody for joining me. Waffles is in there. Davis is in there. I want to thank you all for coming out. Last Brook is here. Oh, we got some familiar faces. I'm excited about this because, okay, so as you know, before we get into it, we're waiting a couple minutes to see if a few more people want to join us before we get going. I do builds on Thursday and Saturday. What we got going on here? The Hollow 89 is hosting. I don't know you, the Hollow 89, but thank you very much for hosting the stream. I appreciate that. Thanks for doing that. So, like I was saying, I stream on Thursdays and Saturdays, do build streams. So that means by the time we get back to Thursday, I haven't built anything since Saturday, and my fingers, I'll show it to you. Let's go to the widescreen. I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to go. Let's go to the wide angle here. Okay, here's the wide angle. We'll do that. Okay, great. So I've been ready to go. I actually put on these white armor pieces you can see there. I put these on just as I was waiting for the stream to start because I want to warm up my hands, but also because I'm ready to build. Yes, you're new to the Hollow. Hello and welcome. I already got a bunch of people watching. Got a few people watching because they are on the page of folks that are hosting, which is really nice. So anyway, we're working on our perfect grade Gundam Wing, the Wing Gundam from Gundam Wing. Look how big these legs are. This is a huge kit. This is we'll just put one of these arms here just so you can be like a sense of scale. This is ridiculous. This is going to be a really tall kit. This kit is going to be tall enough that it'll be in this shot that I'm pointing at right now. I'll put it on the floor and it'll be up enough because the legs are reaching. That's crazy. It's silly, not crazy. Crazy is a term that I'm trying to take out of my vocabulary. The wonderful Lego Butts, aka Felix Kramer, mentioned that they are trying to take some words out of their lexicon, and I am also endeavoring to do that. I'm trying to take stupid and crazy and lame and things like that out of my vocabulary. Those words have no place in there. So I'm trying to, I think chaos was a term that was floating around, saying things are chaotic, and I kind of like that. I like that as a replacement. So anyway, we're putting armor on here. I already clipped some of this armor out. My knight is already accepted to turn on TV, and the end of the X-Men Origins Wolverine is playing. Okay. Well, that is weird. That's a weird thing to suddenly be like, oh, I'm watching this now. Okay, so we saw the spring back here. There's this little spring that lives on this. And then this piece, I guess, is going to go on top. You can see it. I'll put it in the small there. It's basically going to live on this piece, and I'll be able to slide it, the spring, because it'll live on the piece the spring is on. I'm not describing it well, but basically, I don't know. I don't know quite yet how it works, but I'm experimenting with it and figuring it out. And then these will clip on. So I'm almost done here with the legs. We've got some armor to put on, but not too much armor to put on, and then we'll be ready to go. So I'm going to get this on here. What we got going on here? Not Davis is now hosting the stream. It's very nice of you, Not Davis. I appreciate that. I've been trying to cut words like crazy and stuff out of my vocabulary now. It's not easy. Yes. Ridiculous is good. I do like ridiculous as a replacement. And it just comes to that thing where it's there's no reason to be to beat yourself up over it once you're make the decision. Because all you're doing is, it's not censorship. In my opinion, it's not censorship. It's just an attempt to change. In the same way that there are awful, awful terms that we were okay with when we were kids. Like, now we know because of growth and change as in humanity and how we're now exposed to other people, we regret those choices that we made in the past of certain names, name calling that we did. We didn't realize we were doing it at the time. So we're endeavoring to be better. And that's all it is. It's just improvement. Um, the example that I've often given is um, folks know that I work at the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater here in New York, and I've been a tech there for several years. And my script that I would say, like, good evening and welcome to the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater. At this time, we're inviting you to silence or whatever. I do the 2-minute announcement, right? Well, it always began with, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And then when I introduced a group, I'd say, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage. Now, I've taken that out. I have endeavored to not say ladies and gentlemen and to be more inclusive because there are folks that are non-binary that are coming to our shows. And it doesn't make people who identify as male or female feel bad if I don't say ladies and gentlemen, if I say everybody, or I replace it with used to be theater, please welcome to the stage. It doesn't make anyone feel bad. It only makes some people feel more welcome. And the people it makes feel more welcome are already at such a disadvantage where there's a lot of places where they aren't welcome and they don't feel welcome. So why not fucking be a place where that happens? Like, it's not much. It took a little while for me to get used to because I memorized a script and suddenly was changing that script. But that's all it was. I got over it. It's not hard and it makes people feel better. So it's a fucking win-win. I don't know. I don't mean to be preachy so fucking early in the stream. Yeah. Hey, everybody, it's Tuesday. Yes. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of words that I used as a teen that I very much regret using, and I'm glad that I don't. And there's still some language that I wish I wasn't using too much. So, okay, so we put this in here. Now we've got a spring going here. Things are good. The spring now works. It basically, I guess, when the knee bends, it springs. It's like spring loaded. That's pretty cool. Put that there. It's pretty neat. All right, let's do it on the other side and try not to mess it up. But yeah, like I said, I don't mean to be so preachy so early in the stream, but it's a thing that I've been thinking a lot about as I've grown up a little bit, over the years. Your vocabulary should change after middle school. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, no. Harold, you're absolutely right. You were right at then to boo. It comes from, a lot of it comes from, oh, Ben Crave is now following. Thank you very much, Ben. Appreciate the follow. If you're not following, that really helps me out. So consider it. I'll mention the Patreon. I'll mention the coffee. I'll mention, the various ways that people can support me. But at the end of the day, the easiest way to support my stream is to give me a follow. And, if you can give me a subscription, that's awesome. But the follow helps a lot. And then you can turn your notifications on so you know when I'm streaming. Appreciate it very much. Yeah, a lot of it is just like, you just hope that after a while you can kind of grow a bit as a person and acknowledge, like, the thing I always say is, like I said, it's not censorship. It's doing a little to help a lot because it does help people. I learned preferred pronouns, and that's actually not right. It's not preferred. It's just pronouns. You use the pronouns people want. Preferred is a good way to, like, a first step to explain to people what's going on. Like when you say, like, oh, that person wants you to say they. Or that person wants you to say he or she or it, or they or them. You can say they prefer it as like an opening statement, but then you want to take that part out. And I didn't even fully grasp that until pretty recently, that even preferred bums people out a bit because it's not preferred. It's the fucking way it is. Um, and you all learn that. Like, I didn't know all that stuff growing up. I would say, like, I grew up in a place that there used to be more cows than people. Like, uh, I grew up in a place so white, you knew who was Catholic and you knew who was Baptist. That's how fucking white my hometown is. Like, so I wasn't exposed to anything, really. Uh, First person I knew who natively spoke Spanish as their first language, uh, it was one of those things where they checked off multiple diversity boxes because they were Dominican and black. So it was like a big deal because it was like they were the diversity in my grade, um, which is just, ugh. I learned so much when I moved to New York about just people, and I like had a lot to learn about other religions and other races and other cultures and just so much. I didn't have Indian food until I was like 25. Just never came up because I was pretty sheltered. Even though I lived so close to New York, I just never experienced a lot of that. You grew up Southern Baptist in the Deep South. You're so Deep South? Yeah. You know, it's tough. There are there's the big city values you find, you can still find throughout all over the place, right? I always say this, like, clearly we're not perfect, but especially folks younger than me, there's always the push. There's always the push back, but there's always the push forward, right? Like, there's some real assholes in Chapel Hill, right? But Chapel Hill, for the South, is pretty fucking rad. Atlanta is rad as hell when it comes to, like, being a good person, right? And being, like, progressive. But there's still plenty of people in there that I'm sure are not awesome. And there are pockets of awesome even your most bullshit town, right? For people using more vocal terms in groups. So, the hollow, it comes down to when people are using terminology that, you know, like, it is a case by case basis, right? If you're the only person in the group that's like, hey, I wish we didn't say this word because it bones people out. It's tough to be the person that says, hey, let's not do this, right? But sometimes you'd be surprised. You might be surprised how many people will, one, have been waiting for the right opportunity to talk about it, or two, just like need a little push in the right direction, right? Like, we joke about it a lot, right? But the person who's done the most for acceptance in areas that don't know a lot about, like, the gay community is Ellen. Because you can point at Ellen and go, but Grandma, you like Ellen? And she's, like, got a wife and has this whole life, and you think she's great, right? Like, being able to point at people is just sometimes all that people need, just a little bit of a nudge. So sometimes it's just a thing of, like, hey, would you say that to so-and-so? Because their brother is that kind of person, and they hate that. Like, that's a small little thing that we shouldn't have to do, and we shouldn't have to placate people. But sometimes it's just ignorance, right? Like, even in 2018, there's a lot of just plain ignorance out there where people are like, I didn't know I was hurting people. I just grew up saying this word. We got pretty heavy here in the first 14 minutes of the stream, but I think it's important. Like, I don't know. It's a necessary thing to internally go, am I doing enough, right? To acknowledge your privilege, because as people have put it way better than me, privilege doesn't mean that your life is perfect. Privilege doesn't mean that. It just means that there was an inherent advantage to your circumstances, right? Like, I know that it's a huge privilege that instead of paying for a year of college, my parents paid for my rent for a year the first year I lived in New York. That's a huge privilege. They could have just said, well, you're not going to college, so you're on your own. And I would have struggled, and it would have been hard, and I don't even know if I would have made it to New York. I acknowledge that I've had that privilege. And so the goal is, okay, I got a cushy job that I really like. I can hire people. Let's make sure I'm hiring people that pay, that job means something to them and helps them. And then I hope that I'm paying it forward. That's the hope anyway. Is that like I'm using my privilege to make sure that things are a little better for other folks. Because that's the only way we can grow for other people and make things better for other folks. Is if we're like aware of where those things come from and acknowledge them. It's obviously really fucking hard, and I'm still not good. Okay, so I'll say this, right? Let's be real. Let's be honest. I'm still not good at accepting call-outs. I'm still a very defensive person. I'm not outwardly defensive. I know enough to stop myself from arguing when people are like, hey, that wasn't cool. If someone says that about something that I'm doing, I know enough not to immediately argue, but in my head I argue. And I got to get better at that. I got to get better at accepting that, hey, this person probably has a point, and it's not on them to educate me, to make me better. So I need to take a second and take stock and figure out what's up with me. And that's hard and obviously not easy to do, but it's necessary for growth. It's very necessary. And fucking tough. So I'm trying to get better at that. Trying to get better at accepting call-outs and acknowledging them and internalizing them and trying to, do better with it. Because the alternative is that I get caught up in being an ally, and then it becomes performative. Like, I don't want a parade, and I don't even really want acknowledgement that my last 6 404 gets have been pretty marginalized folks that I like to showcase. Maybe people that folks don't know that I think are awesome. And they're all rad, but I'm kind of like, I'm not going for broke. I'm not shooting for the stars anymore when it comes to 404ing it. I'm comfortable enough that I'm like, well, I could just get some people that I think are rad, and then those people, and then my audience will be interested in those people. And like, I'm not looking for a fucking parade or a handout because I'm spending more time than I need to make sure that I'm not just having 20 or 30 something straight white dudes on my panel. Because I'm comfortable enough with my show that I can reach for cooler, more interesting guests that might not be as well known or might not be a draw at all. But because my show is successful enough, it'll be okay. Because, as Harold says, rad people are rad. Yes, indeed. Speaking of 404ing it, we'll get in some little minor plugs, promotion. 404ing it will be at PAX East. It'll be recorded, and it'll be on my YouTube channel, of course. But it'll also be at PAX East. Confirm that. I will say that it is on a Friday. It is not in the evening. It's Friday afternoon. April 6th or 5th. The 5th or 6th. I can't remember the date. All right, we're done with our legs. I will announce guests once I've confirmed them. I'm still waiting to hear from them. And then Thursday night of PAX East, I will be doing the improvised post-mortem. Again, that's going to be, unfortunately, that's a Thursday at 9 p.m. It will be streamed and then recorded and put on my YouTube. Because it's on Thursday, I'm assuming that a couple of the guests that I booked will be unavailable. Because they're probably not expecting that first day to do anything. So I'm going to try to book everybody that I already booked, but I'm not ready to promote who's doing it yet, just that those two shows exist. So our legs are done. We are done with leg day. Now let's work on our waist. I'm going to put these aside over here, and we can get into, we need Q and A and B and K. We need all kinds of sheets. So we'll find the sheets we need. Got this in alphabetical order, so it shouldn't be too hard to find what we need. And we're starting to get through sheets. We just finished up the F sheet. F sheet is done, so that's good. We're moving along. But yeah, so, and then League of Heels is going to be Sunday. I'm not sure exactly. I forget 10 or 10:30. I can't remember exactly when. I think 10:30. Not sure any other details. When I have more details of that, you'll have more details of that. Um, so I need Q and so weird. So I need Q and B and K. This is Q, A, B, and K. All right. There's B and K. This is V, so not that. Okay. Nice, Twisted. That's awesome. Yes, we're getting sheet done, Ben. That is a good way to put it. It is very nice when you start eliminating whole sheets. It's a great feeling because you know that you're actually making progress. Although, obviously, we can just look at this and be like, we're definitely making some progress. That's an L, J, K, L. So that would be, that's L as well. Is this K? Can't find K. That's M. What? I had this in alphabetical order, and then something happened, and it is no longer in alphabetical order. All right, this is one of these has got to be K. Nope, nope. What does K look like? K is one of these pieces. JK. Found it. Found it. Okay, we found K. All right, so we're doing the waist here. So our League of Heels will be a Sunday again. The thing is with East is we've been all different times in all different places. Like I can't tell you where it is or when it is, just that it's Sunday. So, plan accordingly. I now have panels on Thursday and Friday and Sunday. League of Heels is doing I'll say this about League of Heels and this show. We're going to do some cool stuff. I can't get into it, but beyond the panel, there'll be other opportunities for League of Heels shenanigans that I'm looking forward to very much. I hope I have tempted you by saying such things, but I'm very excited about it. More League of Heels stuff this year that I'm very excited to do. And then I still have to go to Seattle in a couple weeks. So that's going to be interesting. I've never been to that convention center for a non-PAX thing. I mean, why would I? So I'm going to Emerald City Comic Con, doing 2 panels. Very excited about that. Should be really good and fun. All right, let's look at this. This is a weird piece. I mean, this is like our waist piece here. It's just kind of cool and weird looking. All right, and we'll put that away, and then we need B and K. So we'll look at those. So this goes in the middle. This is on this side. This is on that side. We'll just kind of do it like that and figure it out. Try to do it so you can see. Sorry about that. Just clipping too far away from the cameras. The MG Sawazi Virkai in the store today. That box is huge. Yeah. There are some big old box. I mean, this perfect grade is huge. I don't know. Have I shown the box in a while? Here's the box is stupid big. No, it's not. Fuck. Okay. The box is incredibly big to a ridiculous degree. Let me say that. It is very big, and it's ridiculous how big it is. We'll say that. It is unbelievably large. Questionably large. Maybe we'll say that. But I'm excited to build with it on it. All right, so then we need B13 and B12 here. Okay. Old habits do die hard. Waffles. You're totally right. It is sometimes very tough. Let's see here. Yeah, the perfect grade is just such a big box, but it's the 160 scale, so like, yeah, it's big. All right, let's start putting stuff together here. Um, okay, so this piece goes there, so that goes like that. So let's see. It's Thursday, so let's talk about some anime. Um, the most important thing to talk about first is that the two feel-good shows that I'm watching right now that are just filling me with joy, and I'm a broken record about them. Laid Back Camp continues to be the fucking best. We got some camping action going, some scouting of a new spot. We've got Nadesco and Rin camping together. Nadesco's older sister makes an appearance, which is always cool because she's a rad character. It's just a wholesome, really good, solid show with really strong characters, and it's just still very, very nice. Just a nice quality show. And there's also so one of the other characters, Ani-chan, I can't remember. There's one character from the outdoor club, kind of goes and scouts a place to check it out, and runs into this like old man camper, this like distinguished old man gentleman with like a motorcycle that's like very like old, and he's like cooking on a skillet, and he offers her some meat from it, and it's this kind of like incredibly weird, very nice, like nothing creepy, just like poignantly pleasant moment in the show. And it's one of those things where like there was so much care given to that character that we may never see again, but it was just like, hey, what's up with that guy? This is a cool old dude camping. Just like, oh man, it was just nice and cool. I got real into that old guy. I wanted to know more about him. But overall, Laid Back Camp continues to just be the sweetest thing. I'm a big fan of it. And then I watched it while I had dinner tonight. How to Keep a Mummy continues to also be very cool. Bit of a different, obviously different kind of show, fantasy show. We got introduced to a dragon, a little dragon friend, who seems very cool. And it was just like they're really starting to amp up now there's a mummy and an little oni thing, and a dragon. They're really amping up all of these creatures that are just here to hang out. And we got confirmation, which I thought was that the main character Sora, he's living with an older woman who like writes stuff. And then she kind of mentioned like thank you Oni-chan at one point, or Aniki, meaning Sora's dad. So we have confirmation that is his aunt and not just a lady, because you never know. Because like I have aunts who aren't related to me, but now I think that they're related, which like doesn't mean anything in the scope of the show. But I was like kind of like wondering what was going on there. There's like a woman that lives there, but they're very like relaxed around each other, and I wasn't sure what the deal was. It just means that like I guess he moved in with his aunt at some point. All right, so I gotta find Q again. I don't know where Q went. So we're finding Q. This is M, and that's I. This is K. This is A. C. C. So we'll find it. We'll find what we need. But yeah, those are the cool anime that I've been watching right now. Here's Q. Found it. I need Q again. So that's one of the two of the shows that I've been watching. I've been watching other stuff. So I have no real experience with Gundam. Oh wow. Okay, so people are gonna give you a bunch of different stuff. I think Iron Blood Orphans is excellent. Maybe a good starting point. There's something to be said for Gundam Wing. I think Gundam Wing is approachable because it's shonen, because it's got like pretty boys in it, and it because it's its own universe. It doesn't follow the timeline. I think Iron Blood Orphans might be a good start. But people always have other opinions about Gundam and where they want to start with Gundam. So I try not to. I try not to like really throw my opinion out there too much because I also know that I have weird tastes. But that might be a good starting place. That Death March show that I've been watching is they amped it up. They gave us some like story stuff that was pretty good in this episode. It's still not a good show. It's still like so low on my priorities. Overlord, still good, still solid. I don't know if I love the second season as much as the first season, but I like it a lot. Sanrio Boys, I did not watch this week. I have not watched it yet. I will watch it. I just haven't yet because I do like that show. I just haven't gotten to this episode. I'll probably watch it before Saturday. But yeah, if anybody in chat has recommendations of a Gundam series they would recommend as a starter, I can tell you don't watch G Gundam because it's a bad place to start because it's very unlike everything else, and also racist. It's just a racist show. There's a version of G Gundam that exists, I'm sure, that isn't like that, but like it's a tough show. Okay, so let's see. Do this. We lift it up. Confused. Oh, okay. So let's see. We need K's again. We gotta find K again. K should not be hard to find. This is K. We need K and A12. Working on our waist here. Yeah, so I guess Iron Blood Orphans would probably be because it's recent. I still haven't watched Builders, the Gundam show that's kind of like Mega Man or Rockman EXE. Still haven't watched that because it's a kid show, but kid shows can still be good. And okay, so I don't know why this goes like this, and then why it goes like that, and I don't understand. What the? Okay. All right. I'm trying to figure out this thing because it's like do this, and I'm like I don't know why, and then this goes in here, I guess. I'm not sure. I'm trying to make sure I do all this right here. So let me just do this part here. We'll figure it out. Yes, it is on Crunchyroll, yeah. So that's a good starting point. See if there's any other anime stuff that I'm watching. I think that's it. I think those are my shows. My stories. 11 here. K6. Alright. We'll get that going there. Goes like this. And then I went back and watched a lot more of, I mentioned it last week, that talk about Yu Yu Hakusho made me want to go watch some Yu Yu Hakusho. I watched a bunch more of Yu Yu Hakusho because that show continues to be really good and great. And then I watched some Hunter x Hunter because that's the same creator. So I went and watched some Hunter x Hunter because that show also rules school. And I wanted to watch more of it. Crunchyroll is very helpful with that. I should say that somebody asked me, I pay for my Crunchyroll account. I have a premium account that I pay for. They don't not sponsor or anything, nothing like that. It's good to be open about that stuff, and I'll tell you, if ever, as I always tell you when people buy stuff from Patreon, I'm always going to tell you that. If someone buys something for me in Patreon to build, or they send me it to me in the mail, I always tell you. And if I ever strike any kind of deal with anybody, I'll make sure that it's very clear and you're aware of that. Um, if suddenly I was starting to talk about Funimation, or I was starting to talk about Anime Strike, because it would either be because I got an account there, or because I was doing some sort of deal. I'm not expecting that stuff to happen now, but I do expect it to happen at some point. In the same way that, hey, y'all know that Oni is sending me out um, uh, to Emerald City Comic Con, right? Oni is sending me out there. Oni, I have friends that work there, but at the same time, like, if I start telling you a certain book is great, you can take that with a grain of salt if you'd like, because they're sponsoring my trip to Seattle, and therefore, like, me talking them up, could be considered suspect. Now, I hope that you would trust me that I would be open about that stuff if that stuff was happening. That if I was talking about a book, it's because I was reading it, not just because I'm friends with Charlie and James from Oni. But that's totally reasonable for all y'all to think about that. Like the people who put out TBZ Kai and Giant Bob. Yeah, I mean, that's a thing, right? Like, what if in order to promote Dragon Ball Fighters Z, they were like, hey, we're going to send you DVDs of Dragon Ball, and we're going to sponsor a podcast where you talk about Dragon Ball Z, right? If they did that, Giant Bomb would be like, hey, this is a promotional thing, we're doing that. Okay, so we got, for the first time in a very long time, I am not worried about the skirt that we are building for our model. I don't expect these to fall apart like almost every master grade. This looks pretty good. So we'll put this aside for a little bit here. Put that there so you can see it. We'll keep going. But yeah, I mean, like, that's just like, I always give a lot of respect to Criparian, Crip, who does a lot of Hearthstone stuff and has been in the game for a long time. Like, has been around, knows what's up, has been doing stuff for a number of years, right? Crip always lets you know it's sponsored content. When he's playing something on stream, if it's sponsored content, he'll tell you. If he's doing a video that's not about like the normal stuff he's doing, and it's a sponsored video, he'll tell you it's a sponsored video. And I have a lot of respect for that. Not everybody does that. Not everybody follows those rules. And in fact, for some reason, there are people who voice their, now obviously, like, don't tell me it's sponsored because then I don't know if you like it or not. Like, well, if they keep playing it after they said they did a sponsored video, they probably like it. But if they only play it when it's sponsored, they probably don't like it. And you can just take it from there. That's like the golden rule for that kind of stuff. Amazon actually sold out of the first season of Kai, only available third-party sales. That's, Lastbrook, that's hilarious. I mean, that's a little bit of Giant Bomb, but definitely a lot of, that's 100% a lot of just people being really interested in it because of Dragon Ball Fighters. One would assume that folks are just like, all right, I guess we're going to go all in on this. This is K. I need Q. I need to find Q again. But that's very funny, Lastbrook. Thank you for telling me that. It's very funny to find out that people are really going all in on Dragon Ball again. I have put myself out there as someone that would be willing to chat with the boys and maybe other guests about Dragon Ball Z. I have seen every episode of Dragon Ball Z before Kai, and every episode of GT and all of the movies. Now, I have not seen all of Super. I'm not caught up on Super because I don't think Super is particularly great. I think it's okay. And also, I'm kind of waiting to get the Blu-rays eventually because they'll clean up a lot of the animation problems because they are clearly rushing a lot of episodes of that show. Super often looks terrible. So I'm not really interested in watching something that looks terrible. So I might as well wait. I'm going to sneeze. Hold on. I sneezed. Apologize. Apologize for sneezing like that. But yeah, to go back to my original point, I'm letting you know if I'm ever like doing anything that is not on the up and up. And make sure that I'm on the up and up with y'all. That is a promise. You can hopefully trust me on that. I'd like to think that my quote-unquote brand is part of that is being someone that people can trust on the internet, that I am not lying and my enthusiasm is genuine. You know, when I talk about anime that I like, it's because I'm watching it. And as you know, sometimes the chat is quiet, and I like to talk about things that I'm into while the chat is happening. I'm going to film tomorrow. I'm going to do 2 YouTube videos that will be me building the Lego hover tank for Star Wars that I have, that someone sent me. And those are going to go up when I'm in Emerald City Comic Con. They'll go up on Thursday and Saturday on YouTube, just as something that's up. But just so that I have something to go up for people. And it's not just... where does that go? This goes like that. I don't know yet. I'll figure this out. I don't know where this goes. Yeah, just so that I have something up for that. And I'm gonna be kind of at a loss because I won't have the chat, so I'll just be talking about whatever I want to talk about. Hopefully, it'll be enjoyable. Kind of want to get Kai. Home release actually has a lot more faithful translation than the Z dub. Yes. So Kai is more faithful of a show. Also, it is shorter because they do trim the fat. Okay, so this has to go like this. It's a small ball. I got some metal pieces here. We're putting some metal pieces together, so that kind of fits in there. Can't do anything else with that until I put this on. How does this fit in? This goes like this. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how this... I'm going to look ahead a little bit. Hold on one second. Okay, so this points to that. Oh, there it is. Got it. Goes like this. Goes like this, I say. Okay. And then... it's a lot of metal pieces. Lots of, pieces in general, but specifically lots of metal on these builds here. So I'm trying to make sure that I do everything as it's supposed to go, so that I'm not wasting everyone's time fixing problems. Other than some of the hand problems we had with the fingers and stuff, we've been pretty relatively problem-free with this build. Knock on fake wood, which has been nice. It's been nice to not run into so many issues. Alright, so what am I doing wrong here? Okay, I'm going to make sure that I've got this. Okay. So I think it's just not staying in place because I haven't put the screws in yet. That's my guess. So once I put the screws in, it'll be good. So now I need screws. Got our screwdriver, our trusted screwdriver, and we're looking for a 1, a 4, a 4, and then 5, which is the nuts here. Bolts there. We need 3 of these, so we'll pull 3 out. Yeah, it's fun to listen. I listen to the Giant Bomb and the Giant Bomb Presents feeds. Jeff and Dan talk about the first three episodes of Dragon Ball Kai, Dragon Ball Z, and it's fun to think about those old times and some of Dan's questions and being like, "Wait, you don't know?" It's like, "Yeah, they don't know that. That's right, they don't know that. Why would they know? Why would they know what Krillin is? Why Krillin looks the way he looks? Why would they know?" What Piccolo Jr. is and why that's important. Why would they know any of that? They wouldn't know that. They don't know it because it's not something that they have had to deal with in any way, shape, or form. So, yeah, why would they know that stuff? It's just funny to me because I'm like, oh, come on, you guys don't know. Yeah, why would you? If you didn't watch it, why would you know it? All right, so these are, it's going to be the top one, and then I need one, which is this one here. Great, and that goes, this one goes here. Yeah, Krillin doesn't have a nose because he was drawn weird. That's the best example. That's the best answer I can give you why Krillin doesn't have a nose, because he was drawn as a weird little guy because he's a monk. He's a weird little monk man and was drawn that way. That's like the best I can do to answer that question. I'm happy they like it. Dan's grown up sophisticated. Uh, it's this weird thing of like, I've been saying this a lot about Dan over the course of the years of him, like, moving to Giant Bomb and originally moving to San Francisco and now moving to New York, and it's just like it just comes down to uh, it's that steadfast thing that he knows he inherited from his dad, and other people certainly have as well. Have had that kind of stuff as well, not necessarily from his dad, but just that thing of, I know I don't like this, and I'm not looking to change my mind, is a tough thing, you know. Especially like, because it can be frustrating because you're like, but try it. But just what if you tried it? Like, when you could say, Dan, you love fucking Metal Gear, you like anime, you like Metal Gear Solid, you like fucking anime. But like that doesn't mean anything to someone if they're not ready to give it a shot. Like telling them that they would like something doesn't really work. Um, like I know that Dan might like a Gundam show, but Gundam Wing is not going to be the show he likes because there's too many pretty boys and the mechs look cool, but then there's also like a sad lady. There's too many sad young ladies in that show for Dan to really be into it, in my opinion, right? So I wouldn't say, hey, you should check out Gundam Wing. Now, I might say, hey, check out G Gundam. It's really stupid, and there are big robots that fight each other. And it's like, you might like that because it's dumb and big and silly. There is drama and sadness, but like there's also a lot of like dumb shit. Uh, so that might be a thing that I would like pitch to Dan. But you never know. You never know how people are going to respond to things, and you never know how people are going to feel about things. And you can't like make them like a thing if they don't want to like it. All right. A little concerned here. I don't know quite what's going on with this. And we'll just try to get this stuff done here. We're doing some screws. Dan would be all about the USA Gundam, yes. The football boxing Gundam. Yeah, I mean, like, look, I'm not trying to tell people that trying new stuff magically makes it all worthwhile and it all works immediately. Like, that's not the case. There's a lot of instances where you try something new and it doesn't work because it wasn't meant to work. Because like we don't all love new things. Sometimes new things are bad because we're right about it all along. What am I doing wrong here? Hmm. Thought I had all this right, but this bottom piece is not connecting the way I would like it to. All right, so we're going to take this apart, and we're going to figure out what I'm doing wrong here. I'm going to give myself time to fix this because, hey, this is important. This is the waist. This is like the legs. This is an important part of this kit, and I don't want to screw it up. So we're going to make sure we're doing it right. Okay, so this goes like this. We know that this goes into here like that. So we know that's right. Yeah, I mean, he's a human being. And like I said, he did spend a long part of his life, Dan Reichert, spent a lot of part of his life having decided what he liked and what he didn't. And that's a hard thing for people. Like, we all have our likes and dislikes, and it's hard to sometimes to acknowledge that they might not be for the right reasons or for any actual good reason. They might just be because that's how we're feeling at the moment, and we might be wrong. And it's a hard thing to recompense. That sometimes we might just be wrong about a thing. Okay, so it looks like that. All right. So we're gonna do the bottom first here, I think. All right, make sure that we've got the right sizes. That one's a little bit longer, so this goes in the bottom. This we're gonna try by screwing in the bottom part of this together first, because there's 3 screws in here, and the last time we did it, the bottom didn't screw together right. So we're gonna try to get that right this time. Then we'll screw the top together. Yeah, I mean, yes, Waffles. I think Dan will be the first to admit that a lot of his likes and dislikes came from his dad, or his tendency to dismay and put things aside come from his father. I think he's the first to admit that, which is it's a hard thing to admit that you have prejudices against foods and all kinds of other things. Those are hard things to admit, but important to do. It's important to admit those kind of things. Be like, okay, I have not been honest with myself about this, or I have not given this a try. Same thing with like, I love it when Patrick Klepek finds a new kind of video game, a genre of video game that he like becomes obsessed with. It makes me happy that he's like trying a new thing and finds out if he likes it or not. Like that stuff is cool, and I've always really enjoyed that part of it. Like that discovery is rad. I always think those things are cool. And there's plenty of stuff that it's not the same thing, but I try vegetables that I don't like every couple of years. Give them another chance. I like peppers. Did not like red peppers or green peppers or anything like that when I was a kid. And then in my early 20s, I gave them a shot. Turns out I like them. And that's a very minor thing, obviously, but it's a true thing. There's a whole kind of vegetable I just wasn't into. So I do every couple of years try, because your taste buds change, your options change, the food you're consuming changes, all that stuff. It's good to try foods that you haven't had before, or that you remember not liking, because they might just be associated. Like, I ate so many hot dogs as a kid that for a very long time I could not eat a hot dog because I had so many and they made me so sick that my body decided they did not enjoy hot dogs and did not want any more fucking hot dogs in my life. Which is like a silly thing, but like very true for me. All right. Okay, I think we did it. We got this going here. We got this connected. All right, so we do this, and then we're gonna put some. We got some more screws to go in, and we've got some more some more nuts to put on them. Lots of screws, as always. Okay, we need 4 of these. And we'll need 4 washers. No washers. Nuts. Alright. But yeah, I think it obviously is very important to kind of give yourself the chance to try things that you haven't tried before, or things you remember not liking, and seeing if, hey, maybe this is the thing I like. You know, be it video games or food or music. You know, I'm much more of an eclectic music listener than I was in my youth. I listened to a lot of classic rock when I was a kid, because that was what the music that was available to me the most. Because it's something that, like, my dad loves and my mom didn't hate. And so I heard a lot of modern or classic rock growing up. Didn't hear much else. So when it came time for me to start listening to my own music, it took me a little while to realize I could listen to a lot of different things, and it would be cool for me to do that. Alright, so I need, looking for M and I. No I, or there's 2 I's, so L. This got all out of whack. I'm going to have to redo this here. Gotta organize better. M, we need that. And then let's see if I can find one. Found 1 I. Let's see if I can find the other I. This is other I. Great. Found what I needed. I didn't say this. I didn't get to this yet. As always, if you're working on anything, if you're building kits or you're painting something or doing anything like that, you can always send a tweet to me, twitter.com/PatBaer, or send me a tweet on that. I always like seeing photos. I'll always retweet when people are building things, especially if you're doing it when I'm not streaming. Like, always let me know. I love sharing that. I love knowing what people are working on out there. We are going to finish this piece here, and then I'm going to take a quick break. We're going to go to 9:30, as always, but I am going to take a quick break in a moment and do some plugs. First and foremost, of course, if you're not following me here on twitch.tv/PatBaer, give me a follow on that. If you're not following my YouTube, youtube.com/PatBaer, because I'm doing a Let's Play series on YouTube. I debuted it. It's every Monday and Wednesday. There are new episodes. It's called Pat Plays Pokemon. I am doing, right now, a randomized run of Pokemon Emerald. That's right, the game Pokemon Emerald. I'm playing that, and I have used a randomizer. So my starting Pokemon were completely, the 3 that I got to choose from, completely random. All the Pokemon in the world that populate the world that trainers have, completely random. Levels are all appropriate, but it's completely random what I get and when I get it. It's been really interesting and cool, and I'm excited to do more of it. I just recorded today the episodes that'll be up next week. I'm not doing those live because they're very easy for me to do. Because I like streaming, but I like doing build streams because other people don't do that, and everybody has a game stream. So I figured I could do it as a YouTube series, do like 20-minute increments. So that's what I'm doing. I'd love it if you check it out. youtube.com/PatBaer. Let me know. So let me go in here in the chat. So these are going to be in the show description here as well. I've got a Patreon. Still trying to get to $150 so that I stream 3 times a week. I would add a Monday afternoon stream if that was the case. I would love to stream every Monday with all of y'all, but can't do that until I get $150 a month because that'll help with expenses. That's my Patreon. I have an Amazon wish list. If there's anything that you always thought you'd love to see me build that's not on this list, send me a message. I'll add it to the list if it's something that I think would be interesting. Got Zoids. We got some Dragon Ball model kit action figure model kits. I'd love to build one of those. That'd be a nice little one-day build. And I got a coffee, which, of course, you can always send money to, and any money that goes to buying some stuff. The bottom of my Amazon wish list is some like stuff that would make it easier for me to stream. A couple odds and ends that would make the streams better, but aren't necessarily necessary, obviously. And things I'll probably pick up at some point. Although the next couple months, my pockets are pretty barren. And then here's my schedule for Emerald City Comic Con. I will be doing some stuff with Oni that is video. I'll have more details about that soon. That Thursday and that Saturday, I will not have normal videos. I won't be doing a stream. I'll be posting YouTube videos for those, so you'll be able to watch those on that day. And here's my Emerald City Comic Con, the 2 panels I'm doing. And then, of course, as I said, follow me here on Twitch if you don't already. Subscribe if you've got your Twitch coin. I'm going to take a drink of water here. Hold on one second. All right. Yeah, if you've got a Twitch coin because you linked your Amazon with your Twitch, you could always, if that's something you would be interested in doing, push that my way. But let me keep doing stuff like this, and I would really appreciate it. But of course, no one is under any obligation to do any of that. Having the followers and all that stuff. Just like enjoy the stream. Chat if you can. Maybe on Saturday when I'm doing my stream next, you want to give it a retweet. Like retweets certainly help people know what's going on with the stuff I'm doing. All right, so we need DCR 9 and 10. Gonna open this up. And then that is 11 and 12. So I think that these L, okay. So that's left side, and this is left side. So those go over here, and then these are the right side ones. They go over here. I'm figuring it out. I'm getting it done. I'm making this happen. We're back into it. We're going to build for another half hour. If you got anything you want to chat about. The last thing I'll say about Pat Plays Pokemon. 1, I hope you'll watch it, because I'm enjoying doing it. But 2, on the first 2 episodes, or any episode, you can always leave a comment on YouTube with a suggestion of what you'd like to see me name some Pokemon. I did name a bunch of Pokemon in the 3rd episode, which is going up next Monday. But I'll always be catching Pokemon, and so I'm going to need folks to give me suggestions of Pokemon names so that I can keep naming those Pokemon as I try to play a lot of Emerald. That's the goal anyway, is to have to get a lot of Pokemon in there and to name as many as I can. Okay, so this goes... How does this work? Alright. So this goes like this. Oh, okay, so that goes like that. Alright. Figuring this out, as always. This one's the one that might be a little sloppy, and the other one won't be as much. Well, we got to go down. Now, Will Smith is hosting. Thank you very much, Will. Always appreciate the support. Technologies Will Smith out there. Getting it done. Making it happen. Always appreciate that. Someday I hope to. Was a proud backer of the Foo Show, but I do not have a VR gear. So someday I hope to actually be able to watch it and have it work for me. Someday I'll be able to watch those episodes. But I was more just happy to support Will. And then yeah, someday it'll work out. All right, so we're gonna screw this in, make sure this works. Gotta put this like this. All right. And this is a little tough, just figuring this stuff out. We're dealing with metal and screws and all kinds of things, and knowing where things go when I don't know where they're supposed to go, and all kinds of stuff. But we'll get it started. Basically get each of these screws started, and then we'll take it from there. Where'd it go? There it is. But yeah, this is not the easiest thing. Yes, Harold. Will is getting jiggy with the stream. Alright, so we'll just do that. And then we'll screw this in so you can see what I'm doing here. And that should be good. Basically working on the joints that are going to go into our feet here, into our legs, I should say. But we're trying to make sure that we do this in a way that allows us to have movement in the piece. So we never want to go all the way with the screw until we're confident that we've gotten all the parts together. Pieces and parts, not piece parts. Because we are dealing with metal here, so we're making sure that we're not limiting mobility completely. But yeah, alright. It was there. And then when this is done, there's another piece that goes on M22. Yeah, so that's the plan for tomorrow, is to film, I mentioned earlier, the hover tank Lego build that will go up while I am out of town, so that something goes up, because I'm going to be staying in a hotel. I'll also be very busy, but I'll be in a hotel in Seattle in the beginning of March, so I will be unable to stream while I'm there. So I figured it would be a good idea to be able to have something go up while I am out of town. Just something for me all to watch. But yeah, if I was staying like in an Airbnb or something, I would think about streaming like I did for PAX Unplugged, but, you know, there's always the risk that that won't work. So I figured this would be better if I just filmed something. I'll probably put a tweet out tomorrow afternoon, Friday, just saying like, hey, if anyone wants to give me suggestions of topics to talk about while I'm doing the build. That's actually the really nice thing about, right now anyway, the Pokemon Emerald stream. One of the reasons why I don't, or videos, is that I don't need it to be streamed, is because I have plenty of things to talk about. That's kind of cool, because I'm talking about Pokemon, right? I haven't run out of things to say about Pokemon, so I'm able to talk about it on the stream, and that's pretty cool. Eventually, maybe I'll run out of Pokemon conversations, but right now, doing just fine. Alright. So let's get this on here. Let's get on there. We're working on it. We're making some good progress here. We're working on our leg joints. I'd love to get this done, but I don't know if that's going to happen tonight. But I would like to get as much of it done as possible. And then alright, this is the left one here. So this goes like this. And then, as I did it before, I'll put the screw through and screw it partial of the way so that it connects it, but not so much that it doesn't want to move. You don't want to do it too tight, so that you don't get any movement at all, or so that it like breaks. Like, you don't want so much resistance with these kind of things. But yeah, I'm excited to do some Lego tomorrow, because it's been a while since I did Lego. So that'll be fun. And of course, I'm very excited, obviously, about continuing this build. I love this build. It's been really cool and fun to do. So always excited to work on this. I hope that'll be on Saturday. And I hope you'll tune in on Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time until 10:30 p.m. for another build stream. We're going to keep working on this for a little bit. We got a little bit of time left here on Thursday. I'm always in a bit of a rush Thursday nights. It is my night off, but I do, as many of you know, produce a show every Thursday late in the evening. So I am often running to that directly after this show. And so we put this here, we put this there. But shouldn't be too hard for me to get to that show today, which is good. good for me. Alright. Again. Put this. So like that. Put that. Here. Alright. Okay. So now we're going to pick this piece here. And we're going to put it into... Alright. Okay. All right. So that is our waist here. It's pretty cool looking. Okay. So the nice thing is, we've got step 40 is step 40 is where things get weird. So this is a great place to stop, because step 40 is this LED light thing I got to put in there, and I got to run cables, and then I got to does it come with these batteries? Do I need to find these batteries? What's up? What's going on with step 40? So I got to do some internet research on that, which I will. So we're going to wrap up for the day here. I'll talk to y'all for a little bit, so we got a little more time. But yeah, I've got this metal piece that I got to put some stuff in, and I'm going to have to do some internet research to figure out how this works. I'm going to look up a how-to on it so that I don't screw it all up, because that would be a real bummer. So yeah, so we're going to end things here for tonight. Thank you, as always, for joining me here on the Build with Baer workshop. Twitter.com/PatBaer. This is Twitch.tv/PatBaer. YouTube.com/PatBaer. As I mentioned, I've got Pat Plays Pokemon, my Let's Play series, which will all be like 20 to 30-minute episodes. 2 of them are up, and they'll be up every Monday and Wednesday. And I'm debating whether or not also Friday. I'm thinking about it. Probably won't right now do 3 days a week, but I've been thinking about it. Because the thing is that I won't do it again for a while, and I already miss it. So we'll see. But yeah, we got our legs done completely, which is rad, as I knock a piece over, which is very fun. And then we got our waist just about done. Then we're going to be building off our waist. We got this big rubber dumb piece here to put in. I'll show you that. This is it's all rubber here. Can't wait to put that on. But yeah, that's going to do it. I want to thank you very much for joining me. Thank you for being in the chat, everybody. And I'll see you hopefully on Saturday. Like I said, send me photos if you're building anything. And until then, this has been the Build with Baer workshop, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.